Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming. I am the majestic Snare. I'm tired of doing it. What are you?
I am the skin tag of a fat woman's armpit.
I knew it. That's Lee, and today's video is going to be all about following our recent review of Spider-Man on the PS4.
Spearman!
Okay, that. We wanted to talk to you a little bit about our feelings about superhero games and maybe what's going to be coming up in superhero land.
Yes, I mean, it's possible that the success of this Spider-Man game is going to kick off a whole wave of imitators, or perhaps more from Insomniac using different superheroes and different game types.
Can only hope.
Yes. And of course, we've got the announcement from Rocksteady, was it?
I think so.
Yep. Who had previously done the Arkham games, that they are working on a Superman tile.
Now, I think that promotes, yes, that one. But that actually starts to make you think about a few problems and how, why was Spider-Man so successful? Whereas we've seen other Iron Man games, Superman games, Captain America games, Hulk games, one of which wasn't too bad actually, Hulk game.
Yeah, a few of them doing okay.
What was that one called?
Ultimate Destruction is the one you're thinking of. Yes.
But a couple of those games, why has some been really successful and others, not? I mean, Spider-Man to me was a really, really good game, and I think looking at it, trying to analyse what's going on, why and how can Superman actually have a game that's great? Not just a game that's been put out there for the masses. Go, oh yeah, Marvel's done Spider-Man really well. Let's get Superman out there.
Well, historically, Superman has not had a good run in terms of video games.
No.
Or
was it the N64 version? Superman 64?
Superman 64 was flying through rings and carrying cars and generally being horrible and unwieldy.
A lot of people say that's one of the worst games ever made.
They are probably correct. I have
E.T. is the worst game ever.
Well, the problem with E.T. is people didn't know how to play E.T. because it doesn't fucking tell you.
Yeah, and Superman 64 was a nightmare. But I think looking at what made Spider-Man successful was the fact that I think the superhero himself is in the right environment. He's a spider swinging through.
He's in a bathroom.
No, he's in and around buildings. That's his kind of sandbox and his playground, and you can build around that a finite world that's not too empty and has got stuff going on in it, and it's real and it's familiar and stuff. But with Superman, I personally think you have to have a much more a much larger intergalactic size of stuff going on, and I don't know how easy that's going to be able to pull off.
Yeah, I see. The problem with Superman is he can go from the Earth's surface to the sun in about 0.5 of a femtosecond. Yeah. Thanks, Ashens, for introducing me to that phrase, by the way.
I'm sure he watches all our videos.
Yes, I'm sure he does.
Hi, Stu.
That's a bit familiar. Well, Mr. Ashens.
But certainly, I think it's not impossible to have a game like Superman and to be really, really good. It's just I'm worried that they won't try.
Well, I think the problem is what has been happening in certain games is they nerf the hero to make it fit in the game better. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I want to play a Superman game, I want to be Superman in that game. I don't want to just be able to lift a car. I want to be able to lift a fucking mountain. You know what I'm saying? I want to be super fast, super strong. I want to be Superman. I don't want to be like his nerfed, slightly retarded half-brother Neville.
Is that Superman's brother?
No, I made that up. Sorry, Neville's out there, buddy.
Is it like Neville Ra or something? I don't know. But it's the reason why Spider-Man was such a success for me, is that I felt like when I was playing the game that I was as much of being a Spider-Man that I could possibly be in a video game. It was just perfect. And I think that's the part that we're both looking for in that Superman game.
Yeah, it's literally being Superman. I want to play a game where I'm Superman. I don't want him to be nerfed. It's like one of my top peeves in superhero movies and stuff like that is they're like, oh man, how are we going to make this superhero defeatable? Because, he's badass, right? So what do? Oh, we make him weaker. No. You don't make him weaker. You make the bad guy stronger. That's what you do, because we know what this guy can do. We've been seeing it all movie, and then you just take it away. It's just fucking boring. We don't want to see him as a regular person. We want to see him as a fucking hero.
But in combat to that, I mean, Superman, the only reason they can actually have anything going on, really, in my view, is just throw some kryptonite at him.
No, there are villains out there that have beat the tar out of Superman. Kryptonite less.
But what I'm saying is that was probably introduced so he could actually have.
Well, it's like I said, you just make a stronger villain. You don't nerf the hero.
Like Doomsday.
Like Doomsday or Darkseid.
But you mean the Doomsday that we got in?
No,
film?
not that. Not the cave troll. No, not the cave troll.
The Harry Potter troll.
Right, I didn't stick anything up his nose. I'll give him that.
That would have been funny though.
One of them sticks her sword up his nose. No.
So, I mean, it's an interesting thing to think about. Because obviously we love video games, and I suppose we both like to think we know a little bit about video games.
I know about video games, thank you very much.
Okay, we're both very modest, clearly. But what I do like to see is kind of evolution, and what people will probably do in terms of companies. They'll look at, well, Insomniac will probably take stock of this and go, Spider-Man was a really big hit, let's do that again. But I would love them to be involved with another superhero that is a well-known one in that Marvel universe. I think you mentioned that game was kind of, part of a bigger picture.
Yeah, I think I've seen a report where they've confirmed that it is part of sort of a universe of superheroes and not just like... Because there's enough Easter eggs in there that point at it, like you've got the Avengers Tower and everything.
That's true, yeah. I mean, or is that just going to be DLC for the Spider-Man franchise? Yeah.
Well, I think if you were going to incorporate much of that, then it would have to be... I mean, we've had that before, though, because in... Spider-Man Web of Shadows, there were lots of cameos from like Luke Cage, Wolverine, tons of them there were. You had to fight them most of the time, like the black suit Spidey, because he had a black suit.
Easy now, we've gone over that many times. But I mean, I'd love to hear what you guys think about what particular superhero game you would love to play, and the most obscure one will not win a prize. Orgasmo. You want to have an Orgasmo game?
Yes, that would be perfect.
It would for you, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see Iron Man done really well, current gen sort of situation.
Yeah, I played.
Give me a Spider-Man quality game of Iron Man.
Played the Iron Man games, and actually the PC versions are all ports of like the PS2 ones. So to get the full experience, you kind of need to play it on like a PS3 or an Xbox 360, and even then, they just looked a little bit better. They weren't very big.
No, I mean, the Captain America game on the PS3.
It was all right. Yeah, PS3. It was all right.
It wasn't terrible, but I don't really care about him.
Yeah, I did find a few sort of superhero games that weren't bad, like that, and there was Wolverine Origins, which was much better than the movie itself.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, some people could come out with a game like Infamous, the original, and like effectively having an original superhero kind of thing going on.
Or
Prototype.
That was what
I knew where you were going with that. But those games were fantastic, and they were very, very similar, but very, very different. So again, they were kind of working in that playground, in that sandbox of having a city to like be the backdrop and be the equipment and tools you use. And this is my point with not only Superman but Iron Man as well, is that they need a much larger space to play in. And if you look at many of the current Marvel films, the stuff that Iron Man does is very precise. He will be like, it'll be very, very quick, but have like a reaction to a situation and have a gadget come out of his suit for it, or he'll have a way out or a technical tool that will get me out of a sticky situation.
Tank missile.
But with Superman, he is all powerful, and to put that into a game, how do you have a game that can last with that much power if you don't have a beginning? Where's the arc of power that you get, say, for Spider-Man with his combos and stuff?
Well, the actual version of Superman that you're familiar with is nothing compared to what he used to be. In like Golden Age comics, he was like pulling planets just linked together by chains and pulling them around. He actually sneezed once and destroyed a solar system.
Well, there's a bit of trivia.
Yeah, there you go. He sounds like a good person to be the girlfriend of.
Yeah, his jizz would rip your spine out.
Yeah, it's been discussed in Clerks.
Must have a
shotgun wound out the back.
Wound, wasn't it? Kryptonite wound.
Kryptonite cockwing. There you go.
But that'll make it fall off, though, wouldn't it?
I
don't know. But aside from the sex innuendo kind of Superman's cum. But how do even with that pulling planets with chains and shit? How do you even start to put that in? That level of power.
I mean, even the comic books have basically nerfed Superman over the years. So he's nowhere near as strong as he used to be in Golden Age, where they basically gave him a superpower sort of every other fucking issue because he needed to do something different. So they just gave him, it's super, whatever, super tactile touch, so he can like read Braille extra fast or something.
I don't know. I mean, they'd have to have a very clever writer to have something that doesn't nerf. I mean, I think that's the only way they can do it. Make him get drugged or something and go back to being Clark, age 17 or something.
I think you could take a page out of like Injustice and have other people sort of brought up in their power levels, like the Kryptonite tech pill, something like that, or robots. Super strong robots, that would work.
I think you'd have to have a lot of destruction, like collateral destruction in the game. You'd have to have...
But nobody liked that in Man of Steel.
But I think you have to have a lot of kind of stuff going on around you to make you feel like you are a god, because that's effectively what Superman is.
Well, I mean, that is an interesting point there. You could totally Superman to it, and like having the challenge is not defeating the bad guy but saving the people.
Or fighting yourself in Superman 3.
Yes.
Evil Superman. Let's have an evil Superman game. I'd buy that.
Yes, because like Clark Kent throttling Superman isn't an evil act. Apparently, he was the good one.
Yeah, but also, like, why not just turn on his head and like there's even a comic book series I think called Irredeemable.
Yeah, well, there's Irredeemable, but there's also Injustice comic book series and games.
And The Boys has also a Superman kind of character in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going off tangent.
Homelander.
Homelander, that's right.
He accepts blowjobs, by the way.
He does. But in the context of this discussion, I'd love to hear what you guys would say about a superhero game and what concerns you about an upcoming Superman game.
Or how do you think would be a better way of doing it than just having him rip ass through the cities and just do what he wants? I mean, that'd be cool.
Because the other thing is, as Superman, he is a saviour of the people, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the big blue Boy Scout for a reason.
Yeah, so if you're going to have a game where you're destroying city blocks because you're like being smashed through it or whatever. How does that tie up with being like the saviour of the people?
Maybe you get a score multiplier if you take him to a farm or something.
But I mean, there's nothing wrong with having this open world and making it a wider space to play in, but don't make it vapid and empty when you go into those places. You need a way of filling that out.
I mean, that's always going to be the issue though. It's like, okay, you've got New York and it's an impressive achievement to make it seem as alive as it was in Spider-Man. But then you're like, well, I can fly between planets. How am I going to do that for like multiple planets? You can. It's just not possible.
You can keep the threat on Earth, but have, he's in 3 dimensions, isn't he? Like, he's not a 2D area to play in. He can fly, so you've instantly got a cube rather than a square to play in. Mm-hmm. And I think that needs to be...
verticality in Spider-Man as well.
Well, only a bit until there is a ceiling to it.
Yeah, because you can't swing off anything if he gets too high.
Yeah, but it's controlled within that space, whereas Superman can just go. And that's the part that that's only my concerns. I want to see a great game, of course, and if Rocksteady are involved with it, they've done good stuff with Batman, so they probably respect the material of Superman enough to.
Oh no, I just get visions of Superman sat on a gargoyle with his X-ray vision.
So it could be changing the mind of Superman and bringing him back, so it's effectively nerfing him. They'll probably nerf his powers.
You just feel like, I am the night, Bob.
I just don't think it will be that bad. It won't be that bad.
No, I don't think it will be either.
Don't touch me again.
Okay.
But yeah, what do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments. I think we're starting to blabber on now, so I'm going to bring this to a close. But if you do like what you heard here today, I'll try and say that again tonight.
It's not as Eagle the Hunchback this time.
If you like what you heard here today and our beautiful faces, Drop us a like down below. I said like, not dislike.
Oh, sorry.
And leave us a comment about what you think about superhero games in general. Which superhero would you like to see in an upcoming, like, current gen title, and to be as good as Spider-Man? Yeah. So we're thinking about stuff again.
Yeah, it's just, no, I think it'd be interesting if we had, like, I'd like to see a superhero game with a super villain game. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
I mean, imagine, like, being Carnage or something like that.
Venom.
Well, Venom's an anti-hero, so it's kind of like he straddles the line. I'd rather just be out and out, sort of like murdering fuckers.
What, like hate or hated or hatred? Is it cool?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. But with the mod, yeah, it's kind of like that. You're kind of like the Flash crossed with Cyclops in the mods.
Let the guys have something to say.
Oh, sorry, I've stolen everybody's ideas because I'm clever.
Well, that's debatable. But yes, leave us down a comment down below about what your thoughts about the whole thing is, because it's just an interesting discussion point. Love to hear what you have to say about it.
And yes, we're certainly waiting with bated breath to see what Rocksteady does with the Superman game.
Yes, and where is Iron Man Insomniac? Please get on it. I want that game. I think it'd be awesome. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget we have videos out every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So until then, just be cool and see you later.
Thwip.
Bye.